Welcome to the quick hitter version of Catch and Shoot 2.0. I'm Bruce Bernstein, filling in for Aaron Berlin alongside Otto Strong. Our guest this week in our featured conversation is with Rob Peterson, the senior NBA editor for The Athletic and an expert on the Milwaukee Bucks, past, present, and probably future. He talks a little bit about the relationship between Khris Middleton and Giannis Antetokounmpo, which is really strong now, but that wasn't always the case. You know, when he gets it going, and I've seen him have some really good games before. I mean, this guy is a all-star, two-time all-star?
Two-time All-Star, Olympian now.
Yeah.
You know.
And I mean, this guy started out in the G League, right? So everything that he has gotten, he's had to work.
He wasn't even in the G League. He was in the D League, D-League. It wasn't even the G League at the time. So that's how far back, that's how, it was one of the originals. And he was there, I think, for, I can't remember how many game stint, but it wasn't that long. And then he was in a throw-in. He was a throw-in with Brandon Knight coming to Milwaukee 8 years ago, the same day they drafted Giannis. So, which was yesterday, by the way, the 8th anniversary of that was yesterday. So it's Eric Name wrote a great piece today about how those guys have kind of grown up together. They hated each other. Giannis and Khris would in the story today, he was talking about how they would like hand-to-hand combat in practice because Giannis wanted to start, but Khris was starting, and they were kind of similar positions at the time. And it's like they would just claw and scratch, and they would go home with marks on their arms. It was crazy. But over the years, obviously, they've learned to play together, love each other as teammates. And I think Giannis said something last night to the tune of like, when Khris retires, it'll be the saddest day of his career. So they've obviously become very close, and they are the engine, two parts of that engine that drive the Bucks.
Khris really did flip the script totally on Sunday because, Giannis has always been Batman and Khris has always been Robin. Well, last night, Khris turned into Batman. Giannis was a very willing Robin, I think. And that really did kind of show. I mean, some superstars, there was a big story today with Scottie Pippen on Dan Patrick's show, and we may get to that in a little bit. Some guys, they just can't handle having their authority threatened or whatever. Giannis, maybe because he came out of the European background where everything's more team-oriented and perhaps, less so here. He accepted it well, but I've never seen Giannis get the kind of buckets that Khris was getting, and it was great how he sort of said, "You do your thing, brother. I'm here. I'll be playing defense. If you need me, I'm here, but do your thing."
Well, it's kind of, you look at it, both those guys kind of came from nothing in a basketball sense, where Giannis was in a second level Greek league, drafted. Khris was in the D League, Texas A&M. So these guys, I think, I wouldn't say appreciate it more, but I think they recognize when something special is happening, because in the past, they weren't obviously recruited heavily, and Giannis was an unknown when he was drafted in 2013. So I think with these guys, it's just the growth from that time 8 years ago to now, where they can appreciate and they realize that they need each other. I mean, because Giannis in the last 8 games, I think, has scored fewer than 30 points once. And that was in game 2. And he didn't play. I don't think he played the fourth quarter. He had 29 points. So yes, I agree with you in the sense that last night, the roles flipped where Khris became Batman and Giannis became Robin, but Giannis still had 33 and 11 last night. It's like, he's putting up numbers where like 33 and 11, Robin, it's
another some kind of for him.
Yeah, that's some kind of special. I mean, he had 40 in game 7 against the Nets. It's like, those are things that if he were on the Nets and he did that in a game 7, they'd be building a statue to him outside of Barclays. Same with Middleton. He has a game very similar to Bernard King. Can go to the rack, can do the pull-up jumpers, can score at the elbow. Bernard's the Hall of Famer. I'm not saying that Khris is, but he has a very similar game, and he puts up similar numbers. Now, obviously, Bernard was a little more explosive at times, but still, it's like if Khris were playing in New York or for the Lakers, it's like he'd be noticed. I think there was a TV show today. It's like, don't sleep on Khris Middleton. I'm like, well, For years, people have. And now, and on the biggest stage, people are saying what he can do.
If you'd like to hear more from Rob Peterson, check out the full version of Catch and Shoot 2.0 from Pure Hoops Media. You can also see the video version of the Catch and Shoot Quick Hitter on the Pure Hoops Media YouTube channel.